Well, we have the two most important people we've left till last, actually. We have Colin, who is the head of the mentors. So he's going to speak first, and then we're going to have Wayne. So, do you want to come up for a couple of minutes, Colin? Or you want
couple of minutes, sounds good.
Couple of minutes, and then you can come up and tell us how you feel about this. Share what you've got to say.
Well, I didn't want to speak, because Jackie knows I hate speaking. But, yeah, I got involved with Jackie in Chelmsford. I seen her on the wing, and she looked like a little lost sheep. Because it is a bit, when you first go into the prison, if you go on the wings, it's a bit, must be a bit daunting. Because it wasn't me when I first went to prison.
Chelmsford Prison is the one that was broadcasted in Porridge, isn't it? So
yeah,
does it look
yeah,
like it does in Porridge?
The new wing doesn't, the induction wing doesn't, but it's the C wing, it's the same wing as Porridge.
That's right, okay, there you go. I can picture that now.
But, yeah. So I went to Jackie and asked her what she was doing, and she explained, so I just showed her around, and that's it. Once she gets hold of you, just can't. And
you don't want to leave either, though. She doesn't hold you, does she?
Sometimes. I mean, I've had times when I'm in my cell, you're locked in prison away from everyone. You think that's it, no one's coming. But there's a knock at your door at 7 in the morning, and the people, Jackie said, get up, bed. But she'd done that on quite a few occasions.
An empowering mentor.
Yeah.
And then you carried on the same thing. You then went, you was
yourself. Yeah, because there was, there's quite a lot of people, when they come in. I'm in prison. A lot of ways to pass time in prison is reading and writing letters. So, I mean, I can read, I didn't have dyslexia or nothing. But, I found that was my escape, is writing letters, reading. So someone who couldn't do that, it must be really hard. And especially these legal letters. Getting letters, I mean, the best person can't read a solicitor's letter. And we just went from there, but it was so nice, teaching the people, learning them to read or write, what they got out of it. But also what I got out of it, it was nice to see someone, develop. Yeah. As she says with Frank, I mean, Frank's been in and out of prison, he's 67. Frank was an old gangster, all them years, to see him read and write. But I knew Frankie Sims for years. I never ever knew he couldn't read and write.
It's not something he's going to share, is it?
No, he's earned money. It looks like, he's done this or done that. And one of my close friends, who become a mentor with us also, Terry Ackenbar, he's had more businesses, earned a lot of money. He couldn't read. I never knew either until in there. No. But I knew him for 25 years. And he's had shops, he's had businesses, always got money. Yeah. And until Jackie came in, I never knew he couldn't read or write. So, but from there, I mean, I went to Belmarsh from Chelmsford, and I started, it just followed us. Someone in the induction couldn't read or write. I said, I took forms with us.
Right, okay. And so you started mentoring in the next prison that you
went to. And then I talked to Jackie a couple of times on the phone. We tried to get it in there, but it was the funding. Yeah. Then I come back to Chelmsford, then they moved me to Wayland, and I took it into Wayland.
You started mentoring in Wayland as well?
Yeah,
right, okay.
I asked an officer there, and he got in touch with Jackie, and he let me start it there. So I trained other people to carry it on there.
So how many people do you think you've mentored now then? Roughly.
Mentored? 60, 70.
Really?
That tested and went through. Well, probably more than the 1200. Yeah, through the time.
How do you think, because you said that you didn't have a learning difficulty anyway, but having the kind of being involved in something that was quite worthwhile in prison, how has that kind of made you feel now that you've kind of left? Do you feel better for it?
Yeah, definitely. No, I've always said that to Jackie. I've seen people outside now, my situation, come out of prison, forms you've got to fill in for social, for houses.
And as Lord Addinton says, it's getting worse, isn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
The more technology and the more advances we take as a society.
So I don't know how people can actually do it, who do have problems. Because, I have problems, and I'm quite good, in the form filling. But it gets a bit too much. But, I think this is good, but I think it was Dawn who was saying, it should be more also noted before they get to prisons.
Yeah.
You know, some of the prisons have been, and we talk to kids who the probation or the police are brought in, who their next step is going to be prison. You know, I think it should be spotted then, like at schools. You know, it shouldn't have to be, you know, for the prisoners, you know,
No, of course.
get them before they go in there, you know,
Yeah, of course.
so it
Yeah.
doesn't go that far.
Brilliant. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that, Colin. And finally, are you going to take? Yeah, he's going to stand for us as well. Thank you. Wayne's a bit of a celebrity. He's been on radio this morning.
I don't like my voice on the radio.
You don't like your voice on the radio, so you're not going to be doing that again, then?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm more than keen.
So what did you say this morning? Tell us what you said this morning. What was that
What I
about?
said this morning was, when the reporter was talking to me, he was asking me about hidden disabilities and about people in prison in general, and that people are misunderstood. And because they're misunderstood, they think they're naughty. They're not naughty, they're just misunderstood. And as well as being misunderstood, the majority of them have still got other hidden qualities which people don't recognise. And if you don't recognise their other qualities, and you ignore them, of course they're going to play up. And they're not going to look for help. In the prison, like you were saying, prison officers and that are not really trained to look for some of those hidden disabilities. If you stand on a prison landing and look down, I used to do a lot of care work. It's like being in a care home with a load of challenging behaviour people. And he was just saying, what do you reckon? And it's, well, it needs to be recognised. People need to look at it. And I thank Jackie for letting me do the 7303, because that gives me a different way of teaching.
That's the City and Guilds course that's part of this mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No two people ever learn the same way.
No.
There's always a different way to teach someone. I mean, I've got a partner who's dyslexic, and I picked that up when she was doing an MVQ course. She sat in the back, and she's nearly completed her MVQ, but she had problems. I picked it up, and when I was doing the work, doing the MVQ teaching, I pick up on a lot of people that would not want to admit that they had dyslexia or other hidden disabilities because they felt ashamed, because they didn't think people understood. All it takes is for someone to stand there, give them 5 minutes of their time and actually find out why. If you find out why, there's always a way to help them to attain something better for themselves and not to go back to the way their life was, because they can better their life. I mean, quite a few people that I actually met in prison did say when they got out, they're going back to selling drugs or whatever, because that's all they'd ever known, and they didn't get help. But those that were getting help, I've seen a few people that I met for over 4 years in prison, they've done better for themselves. They've got themselves a nice job. They can read, they get the help they want.
Because they had options.
They've had the options.
Yeah, they didn't think they had
They've
options
been given the
before.
options. I mean, I can remember
You can't make them take the options, but if you're presenting those options,
Yeah.
at least then there's got a little
It's their choice, and once they've got that choice, they can then look at their life and say, well, I can better myself. I had a friend from school, he's about a year younger than me, but I'm 45, so we're 44 now, and I met him just prior to myself going to prison, and he'd always been in and out of prison for little silly things, because he felt comfortable in there, and he couldn't move away. He's built his own business up, he runs a successful business now, he's got a family, and he's getting help, he can move away. Whereas when he was a kid, he was always misunderstood. He was in the lowest of the lowest classes at school, and no one paid attention to him. He was just that problem child.
Yeah.
Off you go. He proved everyone better, and he's made something of himself, which surprised an awful lot of people.
Yeah. Oh.
And all I say is what Jackie's doing in prizes. She just needs to carry it on. You need everyone to help and support.
Yeah, that's
Give
true.
her the chance to produce it and take it further. So any support that you can give, that'll be more than welcome.
Well said. Well said. Right, we have come to the end of the programme. So, yeah. Well, I was going to say if there was. This is probably going to be a very short Q&A now, so I don't know if we want to. Do we want to refill our glasses, maybe get a cup of coffee or a tea before we come back for a 5, 10, 15 minutes of Q&A, something like that? Is that all right, everybody? Fantastic. Should we do that? Yeah.